Okay, so today is November 29th, 2018. It has been another week. Where am I this week? And how am I doing? A lot has happened since the last time I recorded, so I might not remember everything. But we had a Thanksgiving and we had a feast here, and Amy's family came over and we hung out, and I had a reasonably good time. I got to hang out with everybody, and probably the most notable thing that I did, aside from eat everything, was I got to play some video games with her sister's kids, and we had a good time. So that was fun. One of the kids wanted to play on a team sharing a controller, but most of the game was just controlling how you move. It was a game of keep away. So it was one of those, I want to win, but I don't want to have to win. But it was fun nonetheless. He was maybe 5, so it worked out. The rest of everything has been just insanity because we are coming up on the very tail end of the semester. All of my major projects are coming due. Everything is due. And okay, so in my advanced fluids class, I have still 4 homeworks left that I need to complete, and that's a lot. The professor gave us flexible due dates, which is how I managed to fall so far behind because I spent so long focusing on that first homework. But everything I've turned in for that class, I've gotten a perfect score on so far. So if I have to rush through the rest, it's bad, but I'm starting from a good place, so at least that's good. Um, and I've looked at all of the homework and I've made a few small attempts. I just haven't gotten very far with it. But um, I'm gonna put in dedicated time and effort. Anyway, I also have turbulence class. And in my turbulence class, I have a major paper that's coming up and a presentation for that paper. And I think I'm going to do okay. So, this particular paper is about somebody who was comparing lab measurements to, um, he was trying to compare Reynolds numbers in the near part of the boundary layer and the viscous sublayer and the buffer layer. Buffer layer? No, no, no. Buffer layer. So we were, or this paper is a lot shorter. It's only 9 pages. It's only really focused on one topic, so I don't have to feel stretched in 10 different directions. Oh my word. And so far it looks like he's better about defining his variables. Those are all things I was looking at and trying to make sure that I picked up for this next paper to make it easier because I don't have to make my life harder than it has to be. Except when I do. So now I'm also doing research, and my research is bewildering. Okay, so I have my windmill, and it looks like I'm going to be passing through some extreme angles of attack, like 45, 90 degrees. That's just the way this kind of windmill is set up. And I've been trying to model that kind of thing in Fluent, in ANSYS Fluent. It's a program that we use. And the problem that I have is that turbulent separated flows are not something that actually works in CFD. Like, you can put in all the numbers, but the answer that you get is wrong. So I ran a couple of test cases and compared it to the research data. I probably need to do a couple of test cases for the ones where it should be working just to confirm that I'm doing it right. Because now that I think about it, that would help lend strength to my argument that it's not working. But so far, I looked at the region where you first get into stall, and I looked at 45 degrees, and those were wrong. Those were completely wrong. In stall, my lift coefficient should be a little bit less than 0, so it's actually generating negative lift ever so slightly, but it should be about 0. And it wasn't. It was 0.4. So I'm going to rerun that with the right Reynolds number. I didn't look at my the Reynolds number is the ratio of kinematic to viscous forces. So like viscous forces are how thick something is, like honey. And I had I had something that flowed too easily, and I need to slow it down a little bit. But I can do that in the program and make sure that, I don't have attached flow longer than I expected to at a higher Reynolds number, because I did see that was a trend. But I don't think it's going to work. I don't think it can be made to work, because I've consulted 2 or 3 different experts on CFD, and the only one who seems to think that turbulent shear flows with separated flow can be modeled is my professor. So it's possible he knows something that nobody else in the world knows, or he knows how to get kind of close to the right answer. So I have something to talk to him about, but my gut and my knowledge is telling me that I am not going to be able to complete this project in CFD, which is terrible because that means I'm going to have to run an experiment if I want to validate my work, which of course I want to do. So, it's kind of coming full circle, since my work was originally based on an experiment. It kind of makes sense that I would have to run an experiment to confirm it. So I would, run a few more tests um, on different airfoils to pick the one that I thought was best, and then build that one to confirm that it actually works according to, what I was measuring, or anything remotely approaching what I was measuring or estimating, because I'm estimating a number of different flow conditions and whatever. So that's where I am. This was a long video, but the sky is falling, the semester is almost over, and I'm in crunch time. And there was a sale on Steam very recently, so I picked up a few games, but I really haven't played them hardly at all. I loaded up Monster Hunter just to make sure that it ran, and it technically runs, and I've been kind of fiddling with the settings to try to make it run well just a little bit, but I really haven't had time to play that one, and I haven't had time to play on much of anything. But it's the last week or two, and I have a whole lot of work to get done. It's actually almost 2 a.m. on a Thursday, the Thursday after Thanksgiving, and it's just, I haven't had the time and wherewithal to sit down and record, but I did today, and hopefully everything will be okay. It usually works out. I just have to do a whole lot of work.